Yeah, this is very interesting subject because we are all eating healthy, but guess what? Could you be just be having heavy metals in your healthy food?
Mm, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to this because, yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to.
Okay, let's welcome everyone. Welcome everyone who is watching, who is hearing. Sorry. Welcome everyone who is watching or listening, and let's take over, right?
Good stuff.
Okay. So, what if your plate is the source of heavy metals? Um, Heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, these are silent metals that we can find in our food, and especially even very healthy foods. And so, when food can be our source of nutrition, it can also be a source of heavy metals. And so, this episode is not to make you have fear, but it's to bring awareness and inform you for the choices that you can have. Make good choices. What can you do at the end when you know what? Like for me, I don't eat rice as I used to eat before. So this is just to inform you, to bring you the awareness so that you can know what you can do about the food that you're eating. So, what can I say? So, arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury, these are persistent environment contaminants and they bioaccumulate in food crops, especially rice, wheat, grains like corn, legumes, vegetables, cacao, which is also you'll find in chocolate, and seafood. Many of these are carcinogenic and neurotoxins, and they cause a global public health concern.
Mm.
Okay, okay
So,
with that?
no, I'm not okay with that because I eat a lot of vegetables and I eat seafood. So, so
Yeah,
wait a minute. So, yeah, metals in vegetables?
that's so surprising. Yes. Okay, we're
Is
going
that,
to see.
yeah, is that something that is, wow,
There's something you can't do about it
you can't do
because
anything about it?
yeah, there's nothing you can do about it because mostly, as we're going to see, it can come through the rain, it can come through the soil. So, like,
Gotcha.
okay, let's take this arsenic in grains, especially rice. Rice is the rice crop has the facilitation, or I would say the capability of absorbing the arsenic from the soil. There is nothing you can do about that. It's just the soil has arsenic in it. So there are two types of arsenic. If I get to, there is organic arsenic and inorganic arsenic. Organic is okay. It's like it's the natural compound that we have it. It doesn't mean that you have to have it in your food.
Right.
But inorganic, this is the more toxic and found in soil, most in rice, and also in drinking water. What can you do about the drinking water? Surely
Nothing at all. Yeah.
nothing. So rice, according to the way it is grown, because it's grown in pad water, the irrigations and all that. I've never been on a rice farming, but I see they use a lot of irrigation and water.
Right.
So when rice is grown in these pad waters, the fact that the arsenic can bioaccumulate in that water, the plant picks up very easily.
Right.
Okay, so places where rice will be more problematic are like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and China, parts of China. The irony in this is we always say eat whole grains, right? Like you eat whole rice, but
Mm.
whole rice has more contaminant, has more arsenic than the polished rice. Why? Because it has all the grain. And when wheat is processed, it reduces the toxins, so the heavy metals. It doesn't mean it doesn't have heavy metals, but it has less heavy metals than the whole grain.
Right.
However, whole grain has more nutrients than the polished rice. But what something I found some years ago was basmati rice is much better. It has less arsenic, or sometimes it's that. I won't say it's zero, but it has less arsenic than the other rice.
What type
Okay,
of rice? I'm sorry, I missed that.
basmati. You get it?
No.
Basmati. It's Basmati.
Okay.
Have you
I've
ever
never heard.
paid attention to the rice, the kind of rice you eat?
Yeah, I when
There
I do
there
eat
is
rice,
long,
I eat brown rice. Yeah.
yeah, but in brown rice, we're talking about rice. Their category, their types of rice. So you have basmati, you have long rice, you have jasmine rice,
That's the one I eat.
you have short grain rice.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Okay. You have white rice, you have black rice,
Mhm.
and I think there is red rice as well. And so basmati is the one that I'm talking. It's normally grown, I think, in Himalayas and some parts of India. This one
Okay.
has less arsenic. That has less arsenic, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So before I finish with the rice, so what can you do when you're eating rice? How can you do to minimize the arsenic? Mostly is you clean the rice. Before I never used to clean rice before, because that's the way I saw people cooking. But you're supposed to clean the rice, then you boil. I mean, for example, if you take 1 cup of rice, you put 3 cups of water or 4 cups of water, you
Right.
boil it, and you boil it for about 3 minutes. Then you pour that water out. Then you refill again with now boiling water. You boil aside water, because when the rice boils for the first time, you don't add cold water because you're going to have like a temperature shock. So you need to boil some extra water so that when you filter or when you pour the fast boiling water, you add
Mhm.
more boiling water, and now you cook your rice the way you would cook it. Especially when you're cooking rice and you want the water to evaporate completely.
Right.
So the caveat in this is I found out, like, in America, they have white rice, and since white rice has been removed the nutrients, it is what you can say, they add more vitamins in the white rice. So
Right.
like in America, I think, I don't know whether it's every rice, but I think some packaged rice, you're not supposed to clean it because it is fortified with vitamin B's that have been lost through the processing.
Yeah.
Now, if you boil that water and you pour the water, you pour the nutrients, you pour those fortified vitamins with it. So there is a trade-off. Either you're going to take the rice with the vitamin B's, or you're going to pour the water and reduce the arsenic. The other one is cadmium. This is a metal. It's a heavy metal, also naturally occurring in the nature, classified by WHO, this is World Health Organization, as carcinogenic. This is present in the soils. Its level increases due to industrial emissions, improper disposal of electronics, plastic waste, phosphate fertilizers, and cadmium can travel long distances through the atmospheric and settle on field crops. So once again you see, this is nothing you can do about it.
Right.
It's just the nature, the wind, and everything. Foods with higher cadmium level are potatoes, leafy greens, wheat and cereal products, chocolate and cacao, sweet and savory biscuits, seaweed, some types of seaweed exceed the recommendation limits. So when I am looking at these, the study that I looked, this is in France and Europe. So you imagine places where we don't have the measurements, the control, how
Right.
much people are ingesting these kind of things, right?
Yeah. And I'm
So
laughing because
seafood,
our FDA on this side of the world
yeah.
at the moment is very incompetent. So,
Now
wow.
you can talk about America, but can you imagine some places like in Africa, then like some places in South Asia,
Yeah.
where people are just exposed to these things, to these metals without any control. The governments
At
are
the
doing
moment,
nothing, or maybe they don't know at the moment. Yeah.
at the moment, I think
Mm.
it's a little worse. At
Yeah,
the
yeah.
moment,
I guess we can say so. So when it comes to seafood, we are looking at mollusk and the crustacean. I would say that in French, crustacea. Sorry for that. So
I
crustacean.
mean, you do
So
have
these are the
a French audience, so that's fine.
yeah. So these are the ones accumulate more in cadmium. The health effects when you have this metal exposure for a long time, you have kidney damage, bone
Right.
fragility, and mineral depletion. The other one is lead, the neurotoxic metal. Lead exists in organic and inorganic. And organic is the one that you find naturally in the nature.
Right.
Inorganic is normally found in um, industrial materials. We can talk about gasoline or gasoline, paint, ceramics, industrial waste, batteries, contaminated soils due to industrial activities, and cosmetics.
Mhm.
Food likely to contain lead would be grain and cereal products, leafy greens, root vegetables, potatoes, and especially the ones that are grown nearby the cities or next to industrial places and polluted areas. Spices may also contain lead. I read or I heard um, many people saying that spices are a big source of the metals that we're ingesting today. I don't know why, whether they because of the processing or they're just because the way they are grown.
Right.
Okay, so health effects of having lead. Lead is more neurotoxin, so it's going to affect more brain, especially the brain for young children. And it can cause hypertension, neural damage, and impair cognition. Lead also can come through cookware. So you look for you look for the ingredients or the materials, not ingredients, the materials that make the compose the cookware that you have. And actually, I found that there is FDA that has updated their page according to the amount of lead that are coming in. This is our USA through cookware.
And that's from the United States. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that is United States. Yeah, actually,
Right.
the page was actualized this November.
Oh wow, okay.
Any questions so far?
No, actually, I'm thinking here, the accumulation of these elements, man,
Yeah.
there's a ton of symptoms with that. Ton of symptoms. But how do we avoid that? It sounds like we can't avoid it.
There are things that I think you can't avoid. Like we are just saying, these are okay, fine. Part of it, like if you have a garden Or you used to have a garden. Now I don't think you do
I
it.
used
You
to.
do work on your garden again. You used to.
Nah,
So
I don't
imagine
play.
someone who has a garden, and they think they're eating healthy food, right?
Right.
But not far from there, maybe you have that industrial work that is going on, and maybe the rain, exactly, the rain comes with whatever it's going to pick up,
Right.
and the wind as well. As we just saw, that there are some metals that can just go through the atmosphere and fall down into you.
Right.
Yeah, and also like, if unless um, you have tested the soil where you live, like in your garden. If you
Mhm.
buy a land and you just start cultivating it, you don't know what was there.
Yeah, you
Some
don't know what was there, right?
some metals can stay in the soil for a long time.
Right. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, though.
What did you say?
How do we combat this? Because it sounds like from what you're saying, there's metals in everything. So
They're everywhere. Okay, they're everywhere. Okay, fine. We're going to go back. We're going to go there. Let's look at mercury. So mercury comes with the ocean, aquatic food. So mercury bioaccumulates and biomagnifies in aquatic food. So microorganisms convert mercury into methyl mercury. These are bacteria that actually convert mercury to methyl mercury, which is then taken up by the food, the fish that we eat. Normally, the big fish eats the small fish. The small fish eats the phytoplankton. These are small kind of, they're not animal and they're not plant kind of creatures in the sea. So the small fish are going to feed on that, which has the mercury, and then the big fish are going to eat the small fish. So you will hear most of people saying you should not eat tuna, for example. You should
right,
reduce eating tuna, or those who eat sharks, because these are big fish. And the more small fish they eat, the more they accumulate that, right? But here's the thing. Most people think because you're not eating tuna, you can go and eat sardine, mackerel, or even salmon the way you think, the way you want, because they are not big fish. However, if you get to eat more of this food, you yourself, you're accumulating just like the tuna would.
right,
So it's not just reducing the big fish, reducing the tuna, reducing the sharks. It's also reducing consuming high amount of these small fish that seem to be healthy. Because the more you eat the sardines, the more you yourself you're going to accumulate the metal, the mercury.
right. Here's the thing with tuna.
Your
Tuna's
spice
good for the joints. That
Tuna is
it's
good for
amazing.
the joints.
Yeah, tuna is good for the joints.
Really?
Yeah.
That is one of the fish that is, I know everywhere is, even here in France, it's high in mercury. Maybe that was before. Like today, like everything, you have to go very, very careful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There was a time, yeah, eating fish was healthy. I did that. And to a certain point,
Animal.
I just stopped. Yeah, so you'll get oysters and shrimps. They also have heavy metals and toxins, because these ones they filter, and they you find them on the ground in the ocean. So they
Mm.
go where the metals and the contaminant toxins deposit themselves. So when you're eating this food, you might get mercury, microplastics, and also industrial pollutants. And you would think, what about farmed shrimps?
Right.
These ones, they mostly contain antibiotics, and also, if they are not well regulated, they will contain pathogens like viruses. So
Right.
we would think then, what would be the best thing to eat? It would be seaweeds. right? But seaweeds are healthy and they are very rich in nutrients like minerals. But certain types of seaweed will accumulate inorganic arsenic and cadmium. When I was doing research, I checked on European research work, and they themselves find that there's a lot of these metals in the seaweeds that are consumed here in Europe. So I am always trying to say in Europe, we have a lot of regulations. And if even in Europe, we have these contaminants and metal, then you can imagine how it is and how worse it can be in places where there are no regulations.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any question?
Now I'm a tad bit confused there. Is anything safe?
That's the world we are living today. It's just like with
Yeah.
the microplastics. It's like, yeah, we are contaminated with a lot of things today. So is there anything healthy? Yes, there is still things that are healthy. And here's the thing. We have we can accumulate some metal, but we have ways of removing the metal from the body. So there are some protocols that people use, and this one I would advise you do. You can only know if you have heavy metals when you do blood test. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people who have autoimmune diseases might actually not even get to heal because it's no longer the autoimmunity, it's because they accumulate heavy metals.
Right.
I have had doctors now who are in functional medicine who would have, these chronic diseases, chronic pain, a lot of symptoms that never get away. And when you come to that conclusion where everything you're doing, you have done all the protocols, you have done anti-inflammatory diet, elimination diet, and you still have the symptoms or you still have pain or things that are happening, then there is a time to think about metal, or also to look at I would say metal, but also you can look whether that comes from viruses, the infection from viruses themselves. Right. So when it comes to heavy metals, there are some things that are known to bind to the metals. So if you suppose, or if you go to a doctor and I don't know which doctor you go to, because I don't think I can go to my doctor today and tell him, can you please do a test whether I have mercury? I don't think that thing is common here. You get what I'm saying? So depending where you are with your doctor, if this is something they do test in your country, you can ask for the test, and you can do, so you have the binders. These binders are activated charcoal. This is product that is sold freely, especially in here we say pharmacy. So I think it's drug shops in your place.
That says we say pharmacy over here.
You say pharmacy as well. So this is something, it's black. It's actually made from coconut shells, something like that. And it helps to bind, not all metals, but it can help to bind to some metals and also some toxins. Bentonite clay, this is the green clay. And actually, we put it on the face, we apply it, and this also helps to bind into the toxins. Chlorella. Okay, this one, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it properly. Diatomaceous earth. It's a powder that also given to the livestock to remove the toxins. Modified citrus pectin. This is actually the white pith of the citrus fruits. Now they do the extract, and that one can help to chelate or bind to the toxins, especially arsenic, cadmium, and lead.
Are these
These are
these are
natural.
products
These
that you place on the skin?
no, you ingest.
Wow, okay.
But then that's you have to be very careful. You don't just go to the shop and you buy them and you do this one. I'm just giving the list of things that are out there, but then you have to find someone to work with or educate yourself
Yeah.
how to use them. Some they are not. Chlorella, for example, you don't need any help with that because this is something that is outside there.
Right.
It's a seaweed, just like spirulina, you can buy and just consume it. Now, the dose matters, right? Activated charcoal is also something that is sold freely, and that's something that also you can do. The only problem, and I'm going to come back to that. So you have also cilantro, which for some people they'll call it coriander. So cilantro leaves, the green ones, not the
Yeah.
seeds, they also help in gelating or binding to the metals. What else did I want to say? Alpha lipoic acid, that is something that you buy. Zinc and selenium, these ones, they don't bind the metals per se, but the metals and the zinc and selenium, these are minerals that we need, and they compete with the minerals. So if you don't have enough of zinc and selenium in your body, in your diet, you're going to have more metals accumulated. However, if you have zinc and selenium, they are going to take the place where the metals can dispose, and so they're going to help you reduce the accumulation of the metals, especially mercury and cadmium.
Right.
Okay, there is also humic or fulvic acid, which is also can be used to bind to multiple metals. So, sorry. So the thing is, these are natural things that I'm talking about, but they are medicines. There are some compounds that are made, but then doctor can prescribe that, and they can help you chelate the metals. Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. Go on.
I mean, yeah. This is. I mean, is not is unavoidable.
It's not. Yeah, there's
It just
nothing you
seems like
can do
we're all
about.
going to consume metal at some point.
To some point, like yeah, for sure. Now,
But
where you can play part is how you eat, okay, how you live your life, the lifestyle as well. So when you say, like when I say you can have these biters, you can take these things that are going to help to bite the metals, but they're going to bind, but they're not going to transport them outside your body. So you need to drink, you have to be hydrated. And also you have to have a diet that is high in fiber, because water is going to help the kidney to filter. And so you're going to urinate the toxins and the metal. The fiber is going to trap the metals and also help to go to the toilet. So if you're not pooing per se, then you're not detoxifying.
right,
So you need to really, if you do the protocol where you're taking these biters, you need also to help your body to expel those things as easily, as quickly as possible. So eating high fiber diet is good. The other thing is also eating high diet that is in antioxidants, because antioxidants, they're going to help support the body where the metals are harming the body. You get what I'm saying? So when you
right,
have metals, they don't just stay in your body like that. They are not good friends. So they're damaging the cell, they're damaging the DNA. So you need a lot of antioxidants that will help you to that are going to support the body. That's what I want to say.
right, right. I think it's very important that we try to avoid that, and the only way we could do that is wash, clean everything that we bring into
Yeah,
the home to consume, because it Can you
Exactly.
imagine?
So cleaning the food. Okay,
Yeah,
fine. There is a way you can't clean things that are already inside the.
exactly.
For
Especially
example, for
processed food.
processed food. For example, when I think I didn't mention that, like bread, where wheat is concerned, oats is concerned,
Yeah,
where grains are concerned, and they're already transformed. Or like when you buy your wheat and you go and make, there's nothing you can do about that.
I was
Okay.
gonna have some oatmeal this morning, but I changed my mind after this conversation.
Wow. Okay.
We really
That
have
was
to keep.
that wasn't the intentions of this video. The intention is to inform you and then say, okay, fine. What can I do? The
Yeah,
problematic. I don't think, especially when it comes to organic,
yeah,
the organic they can help with the pesticides and all that, but they don't assure that the soil. I know I talked to some farmers who have the label organic here, and they
mm,
have like for them to have that certification, you have to clear the land for about 5 to 7 years before you can label yourself as organic. So some
exactly.
places, I don't know, they might just say, I'm not putting anything on the plant, so it's organic, but the soil itself could be a source of
Yeah, what about the
contaminant.
soil? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yes, like just getting out of this, I was looking for a way of getting soy milk for my daughter
hmm,
because of calcium. So I was like, I take an organic calcium milk, and here we don't have fortified milk the way, I mean, we do some
right.
bread. The bread that I take is organic, but doesn't have fortified calcium. And so I was like, how do I get calcium from? Actually, I'm chatting with the chat GPT, and and it gives me some breads, and then these breads I ask, where do they get their soy from? And it's like, yeah, the soy comes from Europe, but some of it comes from Canada. And so it's like, why would they go to Canada to get some soy if they already have European soy? You get what I'm saying?
Right, right,
And it's like they mix up things, and it's because there are some things that will be allowed in other countries and they're not allowed in Europe, and so their soy will be cheaper
right.
than the one that is here. But when it comes that way, it has its own caveats because it has some pesticides. We don't know. I'm not saying things grown in Canada is bad, but
Yeah,
comparing countries and comparing, like, you might be eating organic, but normally it's not
right.
just.
You sure you don't want no
Yeah,
soy
it's
from
not
over here? I can
enough.
send you some. You want some soy from here? I can send you some.
Soy. I don't want you. I don't want that. Yeah. And
Yeah,
the funniest thing, it was they was it was explaining the way they have, there is soy for animals and soy for
mhm.
human consumption. And the
Really?
one for soy or the animal, yeah, the one for the animal can be GMO, it can have pesticides, it can have anything.
Right,
However, we are the one we're eating those animals after. Okay, fine, for those who are eating meat every other day.
right, right, right.
And yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that's how heavy metals get to our plates. And once again, this is just to inform you. It's not to make you um, start wondering where you're going to eat your food from. It's just having that awareness. And so trying to vary grains, for example, there was a time, and for my kids,
Mm,
they want rice, and there was a time I used to buy more of whole rice, right? And
mhm.
I'll now go like, okay, fine, I'm thinking twice. I want whole rice. If I don't get, for example, I don't get basmati that is really whole. I only get it's half, like they have removed part of the outing part, or you get the white one. Okay.
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, what do you need? What do you want to do? What are the benefits you're going to get? If I get the whole rice, they're going to get a lot of nutrients from it, but also they might get more exposed to the arsenic.
Right. And it's important to stress to the folks, you know, choose your rice, whatever rice you choose. I choose
Of course, yeah,
jasmine brown rice, but make sure it's excessive water when you're
yeah,
actually preparing
yeah. You clean it and then you boil it and you throw the water.
it. Exactly.
And when I was saying, like, for example, for the Americans where it's already pre-cooked, so you just cook it, because even here we find some rice that is already pre-cooked. That there is nothing you can do about that.
No.
However, what if, like, if you boil that water and you throw it away and you're going to throw the fortified vitamins that they added in,
Right.
you're going to throw that, you're going to reduce the arsenic, but you can eat that rice with high food that are going to give you the vitamin Bs. Okay. Now I will say you can eat that with high vegetables meal, but then you're asking which vegetables.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like what do we know? We know that the global is heating. We know the climate is changing. There is nothing we can do it from where I am. There's nothing I can do to change the global heating.
Yeah.
So I am just a victim of it. But what can I do to minimize its effects on me? That's what I'm going. Like, the food is already contaminated, but what can I do myself to avoid the risk that I'm exposed to? So let's go to the little farmers. Let's cook. Let's cook our food. The other day, I had a woman who told me she doesn't like cooking. And I was like, that is ideal when you live alone. But if you have kids, you won't just go and eat processed food all the time. So, but then once again, that's no judgment. What I'm saying is, let's eat whole foods, because when they come through, you buy a bread, you buy cookies, you buy chocolate, you're exposing yourself to these contaminants, to these heavy metals,
Exactly.
in a way that you can't reduce it. However, did you even know that I learned that the chocolate, the cacao that comes from the South America is more contaminated than the one that comes from Africa.
Is
And
that
then I
right?
go to a shop, a very beautiful, high, expensive shop, and I'm asking for a chocolate. I'm saying, I only want African chocolate. And they couldn't, okay, there was a packet, or like the ones you just pick it up and you go. And they have very beautiful ones here. And like, what is here that is made with African chocolate? Like, there is
So
nothing.
which
Everyone,
part of Africa?
chocolate,
All parts
chocolate,
of Africa? Which
chocolate.
part? No, I'm saying which part of Africa can you
No,
get that good
Africa
stuff?
itself. Africa, I didn't get which part of Africa, because I bought Madagascar, but I would think Madagascar is much better than the one that is in South America.
Right.
And
Makes sense.
here it's not to say that you stop buying chocolate from South America. That's not my intention here. It's to
Right.
say there are some, just like I said about basmati rice has less arsenic. That I didn't say you go just buy arsenic. Basmati. It's your choice. But if you knew, I think you'd make better choices. So for
Right.
me, before I used to buy chocolate without even thinking. I'll just buy chocolate. I'll just buy cacao. Okay,
Right.
even if I'm buying it organic. Now I am thinking: is it coming from South America or is it coming from Africa?
Yeah.
Is my basmati? But however, once again, I would cook basmati. I've always cooked basmati rice because I like the smell and the way it cooks. And be careful, because if you're looking for basmati, you might find that is just like the olive oil. It's not pure. Or the way I talked about guacamole, it's basmati written there, but maybe it is a mixture of other things.
Right.
So today, the trust is the one that I think we should question. Can we trust the industry?
Yeah, that's quite interesting. quite interesting. Let's just say I'll go on record and saying I'll take something from the motherland first. So, but that's just me. That's just me. I'll take something from the motherland first, opposed to
I totally agree. For example, I like buying oranges, and we have oranges that are coming from Spain, and I have oranges that are coming from Mozambique or maybe South Africa, and I will not buy oranges from Spain. And that this has nothing to do with black or being what. This is just like I am thinking of how those trees have grown for a long time and the care and the work that's been there than the food that maybe just we add a lot of chemicals, we put a lot of pesticides, we cover up, and then we bring it to you. So it has nothing to do, oh, you just because you're African. No, it's also the way things, I think, even if the world, we are trying to spoil Africa the best we can so that we don't have as much. But I think there is a way of growing things that is still resonates to the ancient times, if there is still, because I understand, like today, like in Kenya, where I come from, they can't keep seeds. You can have seeds like before, you know, you can grow maize and then you put the seeds and you grow the same kind of maize, and or you can get maize from your neighbor or the other zone where the region where they have good maize or good type of maize they can share with you. Today they don't have that right. And guess what? Even here in France, they don't. You don't have the right to have Asian seeds. You don't have the right to keep the way things used to to be transmitted from your great father used to plant things. Right. Now these people, they are being told you don't have that. You don't have the right to have those because, big industries, they want to govern how we are supposed to eat.
And governs means capitalizing.
Exactly.
That's why we got to be mindful, man. And I constantly preach what we consume. We have to be mindful. I tell my neighbor this all the time. She's always purchasing processed food. I'm like, dude, I want to slow down on that stuff. You don't know where it originated, the origins of this food, how it was prepared, or anything. Be mindful of that, man.
Yeah, we should be mindful. Should be mindful of how we are eating, how we are consuming. And that said, I still buy from my local farmers because there are things I will not get from Africa, and also because I know they came from afar, and there are all those. I mean, it's like you think, if I want to eat some kind of food, yes, I'll go to this kind of shops. I don't eat a lot of things from China, for example, because I have nothing against it, but it's just the way things, they go too fast. You don't understand how.
So you don't eat,
there were
from China,
unless I don't know. For example, I'll go to my organic shop and I'll get ginger that is so thin, like just my finger, right? It's thin.
The ginger root?
The ginger. Yeah, ginger roots are thin. Yeah. Then you go to the supermarket, you get ginger from China, is big like this. What is the difference?
That's interesting because I purchase ginger all the time. As you know, I consume
you
ginger
drink it.
every day.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So are you telling me that the bigger the ginger, the less organic?
You ask yourself, you'll never find an organic food that is this big. The food has to struggle because it doesn't have chemicals, it doesn't have fertilizers. If they have fertilizers, they have healthy ones. It's just like someone who is I don't like saying Africa, but find about someone who is working hard in the land and someone who is sitting down eating McDonald's all the time. One is going to grow big and one is going to be thinner because you're wasting all the energy that you're getting on the land.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about ginger, right?
get
Now, I
yeah.
just purchased my
Don't go throwing
latest
it
batch
through.
of ginger. And
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I think she's doing this on purpose, and because she knows I get spooked when she talk about all these different things. So I think she's doing this on purpose to me personally. But
No.
nah, I'm just
Okay,
teasing.
go on. Go
But
ahead. Go on.
last month, the ginger I purchased
Mm.
was pretty big. This month, the ginger I purchased
Yeah.
was very thin. And you got me thinking, like, did I?
It's just like the apples, just like the fruits that you see.
Yeah,
You go to the farmer, the fruit is like this. You go to
yeah,
the supermarket, is huge like
it's
this.
huge. Yeah,
Ask yourself, how did that get huge like this?
yeah,
Can it be like that in the nature?
yeah.
It
That's
can
different.
in the nature, but when it's assisted, you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a good way to make
I
us
get it.
consume
No, I
things,
get it because
but
I love gardening, but
yeah,
it had
yeah,
to be assisted in
for the
growing that big.
for the years that you used to garden, did you ever cultivate something that was that huge?
Never. But here's the thing, though. When I was gardening, I made my
Yeah.
own pesticide out of vinegar and all this other stuff and fish oil and stuff
Oh,
like that.
okay.
I never did any
Okay. So
pesticide.
you assist. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. All that stuff that I did was organic.
Hmm. Yeah. I
I
get
didn't
it.
buy any pesticide or anything like that, and they never grew that big.
They don't not naturally. Okay, fine.
Grew their natural size. Yeah, their natural.
If they are left for a longer time, they're going to grow bigger. That for sure. I have a farmer who I buy carrots. They are huge, but they are huge because that is a kind of carrot that has been brought from the great grandfather. The
Yeah,
today's carrot, they don't grow that huge. However, take for example, you get the blueberries. Everyone eats blueberries, right?
yeah,
But if you compare the wild blueberries and the cultivated blueberries, you see the huge difference.
right.
Small, tiny, wild blueberries. When you get the cultivated one, they are huge. So every time you're getting food, you ask yourself, okay, fine, I saw that huge ginger. And actually, I even found once in an organic shop, and I went for a month without taking ginger. I was like, that thing doesn't sound okay for me,
Yeah,
because organic food is supposed to be struggling in the nature to survive. That's why it is organic. That's why
yeah,
it has a lot of antioxidants, because it's fighting for its survival. They
exactly.
don't
Yeah,
go growing in big. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. So I think I was gonna have some oatmeal this morning. I changed my mind after.
Now the ginger case. Okay. Sorry for that.
Leave it to Catherine. She will spook me this early in the morning.
Okay. Okay. So we go back. We finish the podcast. If we can finish the title, the topic is
Yeah, go ahead.
eat variety, and make sure be aware of where you're taking your food from. There are some things we don't have a choice. I am not going to buy rice from my farmers market. Obviously, the rice is coming from somewhere.
Right.
For a long time, me, for example, I didn't eat rice from France because I knew where the rice grew had arsenic at the time when I got here. So I don't know of today if they have reduced it. For and I've been here for a long time, that could have reduced, but being aware, there's some things you can trade for. So the eat a lot of vegetables, fruits, I mean, antioxidants when you have this exposure, and all the time. But I'm saying if you have been exposed to metal
Mhm.
or other contaminant toxins, eat a lot of foods that has antioxidants, so that you can help your body from fighting the effects of these metals or contaminants. Okay. We go back again, try the best you can buy from the local farmers. When it comes to aquatic food, honestly, you really have to navigate through that because I remember once coaching a woman and she was like, should I go the farmed option? And I was like, no, because the farmed option is even worse because these things, they're just like caged animals. They are put together and they have the antibiotics and all that kind of stuff. Then they add a lot of other compounds, chemical compounds, so that the fish can survive. So I don't think it's the best way. So would you just reduce? I think this part of where we should reduce eating a lot of animal products could be better. I'm not praising anything here, like you should go vegan, but if you find that, I used to love to eat salmon, for example, and I used also to eat tuna, and I was like, well, these are things like today I can't eat, and it has nothing to do with being in the diet that I have today. It's just like, yeah, I got aware that the more I'm going to eat these foods, I might be exposed to toxins.
I tell you
So
something
making
funny
those,
about you mentioned salmon made me think about something.
yeah,
I purchased some salmon maybe 2.5 weeks ago.
yeah,
So, as I, put it in the fridge and all this other stuff. So it's in the freezer. So I look at it, and the reason why I haven't cooked that salmon, it's a little too pink for me and it looks artificial. I think I'm going to throw it
I
out.
was just going to tell you that. Do you know in the salmon they add powder?
Yeah. So I think I'm
They
gonna
make it look,
throw that. I think I'm gonna throw that salmon out because it's a little
yeah,
too pink
too
for me.
pinky. Yeah,
Too
yeah,
pinky.
they do that.
I'm like,
I
man, that looks like it's
understood.
been sprayed. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I understood that the natural salmon doesn't have that pink.
It doesn't. It
It
does.
actually looks like it's grayish.
Yeah. And I love salmon. I love salmon. When I
Yeah.
choose my salmon, I don't send Brandy to get my seafoods
Mm-hmm.
because I like to pick it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Pick out what I'm gonna pick out at the grocery. But when
Yeah.
I saw that salmon,
Mm.
I left it there. I put it in the freezer, and I looked at it the other day, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw this out.
You see, yeah, when you have that, like this is not relating to the natural thing that
Yeah,
I
it's
know
not.
because you used to fish yourself. So you
Yeah,
know how
I know
fishy looks
exactly what
like.
salmon look like. It doesn't look
Exactly.
like what's in my freezer right now. So you got to be mindful, man, when you
Yeah,
picking
we
this
have
stuff.
to be mindful.
You got to be mindful and think about when you go into the groceries, to the stores or to wherever you get your food or whatever. This stuff is prepared to look good, so you can
Hmm.
grab it.
Yeah.
You have to think about that for a second. They,
Um,
they do what they
um,
gotta do to make it look good in presentation so you could actually purchase it. So you gotta be careful with that.
and you might ask yourself, because I remember doing that, reading about it some maybe last year or 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And the question is, why would people prefer to have pink fish?
I never understood that. Because salmon, when you really
Like,
think about it, salmon is kinda like on the grayish side.
yeah, it has a grayish, it's not pink.
Huh,
And they
not at all.
do that. They do that just because the consumer want that pink.
Yeah,
But where did the pink come from?
that's a good question. I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw that salmon out first thing when we finish this podcast.
The sad thing. This yesterday, I don't know what this is. Yesterday, I was thinking about this. There is a generation where the real life will not look the same again because as we
Right,
lived, you, for example, you fished. I grew up in a farm. I know how everything happens. Actually, it was an episode
exactly.
where the people were talking about how to slaughter animals, you're killing animals and all that. And me, I slaughtered animals. And
Right.
so it's not the same mindset. And so people sit down there, we tell them things and then say, oh, I'm not going to eat this because it's not that. Then other people do this. This is the way you're supposed to eat food. You don't even know the color of anything. We are just, there is a time where I think we are going to have people, humanity, that don't know how the real life, the real food, the real things look like.
It's turning artificial by the minute.
Yeah.
It's turning very artificial by the minute. So yeah, we got to be mindful of that, man.
Yeah, we should be. We should be. So, yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, you scared me for the day.
It wasn't my intentions, but at least maybe I saved you something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But again, I can't stress it anymore. You have to wash as you prepare whatever you're cooking for your family, cooking for yourself. Avoid processed foods.
And also what you're cooking with, the cookware. Yeah. And for those who would like to know, foodandhill.com, I have an article on cookware, so you can look at what types of cookware that you can use to reduce the exposure of heavy metals, and other compounds. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's on the screen here. Foodandhill, the letter N Hill.com.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had
I have an article that there are some things like me too. I used to use, for example, you want to eat sugar-free, you want to eat low-fat. Right. So what would you like to cook with? You cook with non-sticking cookware because the food is not going to stick because it doesn't have oil, right? But then you understand these things, they are source of the chemicals, they are the compounds that we're just talking today. So for me, it was like, I didn't want to put eggs in my crepes or in my pancakes. Now I can cook them because I don't have the non-sticking pan. So these are things that we have to look at. No, okay, fine. I ended up buying something that could help me. I have a cast iron that you don't clean them when you cook. You just use the oil there's a technique that you cook with it for a long time. And since you're not cleaning it completely, the oil coats up. And so I had to make a choice. I'm cooking with the oil or I am cooking with the non-sticking. And non-sticking is going to cause you a lot of problems. Yeah. So this Tefal, and whatever we see, we have to be very careful. So go ahead and read that, and it's going to be very informative.
Well, after this episode, I think fasting is going to be the thing for me. Fasting is going to be the thing for me.
Okay.
Everywhere we turn, we never know. So,
no, you go have your oats. You just have to be careful and rotate. Don't just go for oat milk all the time.
Yeah.
And why do you prefer oat milk, by the way?
Actually, I prefer almond.
Okay.
Yeah, for almond. With a hint of vanilla.
Okay. Okay. You are just going to finish the bottle and then you will switch to almond. It's not inherently bad. It's just that, oats, depending where that oat's coming from.
So what would you recommend? What would you prefer, almond or oat?
I would go for almond. Okay. Oats is just like, let's say, oats are cereal that has been very, what do you say? It comes with pesticides and all that. Now, if you take organic, it's okay. But when it's really processed, you don't know at what level they made the milk. Because instant oats, for example, they are very high in glycemic index because they are very they're supposed to cook instantly, so they are highly processed. So that is just like eating white rice. So if you're eating instant oats, you might think you're eating fiber and all that kind of stuff, but actually it's as white rice. It has very little nutrients. So you're going to have that milk, which is just, if you're looking for healthy ways of eating, you're just having a glass of maybe a Coca-Cola. I might be exaggerating, but it's high in sugar. That's what I want to say. It's highly processed. That is so much high in glycemic index. Glycemic index is the one that determines like how fast your blood glucose is going to go high, spike when you drink something or eat something. And so if you're relying on oats, instant oats, for example, it's very highly processed and it's not supposed to be taken as a healthy food.
Right.
Yeah. On the other hand, you have almond. Almond is, unless you have problems with anti-nutrients like oxalates, almond, it has high proteins. It's a source of vitamin E as well, so it's much better. The only problem I find, for example, for me, I don't go on this because what they add, because the milk has to be a little bit consistent. That consistency has to come with added something. Sometimes a starch, sometimes compounds. How do you call that? Read your box and see what they use to thicken the milk.
Yeah, trust me. That's what I'm reading every single label. I take so long now in the store to where I'm at every item I'm picking up, I'm looking at it. Like, what's in this stuff?
Yeah. The only problem where I may have found why, for example, I go for soy, because the brand I go for, it's just soy and water. Okay. Whereas I go to other, like looking for coconut milk or coconut milk, sometimes it can be okay. But when you're going for almond, you're looking for even oats, rice milk. For it to be to have thickening, they add other stuffs, and that's where the problematic comes in.
I'm glad you brought up bread, because I want to remind myself to ask you about, what are your thoughts on Ezekiel bread?
This is an ancient bread, right? Yeah. I think it's a good bread. Now, it all depends who is making it and if the traditional way of making bread is respected. Okay, fine. I would go, for example, people, when they are on your side, they say, when you go to Europe, you can eat leavened bread. You can eat all the bread you want because they are low in gluten. However, we don't have, it's because we don't have the same wheat. But also in France, bakeries, very few bakeries now, they make that unleavened bread. They don't have time. Before you could have the sourdough, that's what I'm talking about. Before they had time to let the sourdough for maybe 24 hours or maybe 48 hours. Now you get bakeries where they don't have those breads anymore. So it depends if the bread that you're talking about is cooked the way it was cooked then. Like they respect the ancient recipes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. What we're going to talk about next week?
Next week, lymphatic system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anything new coming up for you, or anything you got going
on? I don't have anything new. Okay, I'll remind the readers, I have this book here. I've never talked about it. This is not a book, actually, it's a journal. For food sensitivity, you find it in, I think it's like that. You can read it. Can you read it that way?
Yeah.
Or you read it that way? I don't know. Okay. As you go to food, Catherine Gitu in Amazon, you can get that. This one really helped us because there was a time my daughter had a lot of wounds, especially just when we went to COVID. We could see a doctor, so the doctor was on the line, and he told me, "I'm going to give you prescription for your daughter. It's going to for 5 years."
Oh wow.
I was like, "My God, 5 years, my daughter will be taking medicine."
Wow.
Okay, so this is a journal where I took for her, and we could write things that she's eating and what she could react on. We took the medication for about 3 months. Then I told her, we're going to stop the medication. If this still continues, then we take the medication. And we never went back. We never took the medications after. So if you have autoimmune disease or you have chronic disease that you see that it's not going after the classical way of elimination, you need to have a book or a journal where you're writing down how you're eating, what you're eating, and how long the symptoms are coming up. Okay. So the other one is my beautiful book here. This is The Best Breakfast. I don't know when you can see it there.
Yeah.
The best anti-inflammatory breakfast. Just as we talked the last time, we don't skip breakfast anymore, even if Mr. Trent here said he's going to fast today.
I'm fasting.
We are not fasting. So we have nice recipes in here, and they're very fast. My daughter actually does this recipe by herself because they are so beautiful and easy to make. And so take this book. It's going to help you navigate the morning. And the one thing I know is when we eat, we don't snack in this house because we eat nice, beautiful, heavy breakfast. And we are gone for the hours before lunch.
Gotcha.
Once again, Catherine Gateau in Amazon. And in Amazon, there are different markets. So you have US. Yesterday, I just sent a book to Switzerland. They don't have the market in Switzerland, so I had to buy the book myself and send it to the client. But you can find in your country if you can get the Amazon. I'll find a way to put the book in other editorial shops instead of just Amazon.
Yeah, maybe I can help you with that. Get it in different marketplaces. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Taylor Kennedy TV at taken.com. Actually, Catherine and I have been talking about live streaming on TikTok. So once we work the time difference out between the both of us, we're going to stream live into TikTok. I've been doing these lives on TikTok. My second one was last night. And let's just say a ton of people showed up. I was talking about stroke. I'm talking about the journey. And the first one I did, over 21,000 people showed up. And the one last night, 11,000 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and do some live streaming with Catherine on his nutrition, because I think this has become I don't think this has become part of my life, a part of my journey as far as nutrition and what I consume. And anything good I want to share with you guys. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll work this
Beautiful. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
It's definitely a blessing, man. Definitely a blessing. Even though she scares the heebie-jeebies out of me, it's a blessing to have her around talking about these nutrition tips and all that good stuff. And besides,
but
free.
No, but I think that's what I'm saying. The best thing is you get to know when to make the best choices.
Exactly. And I choose today to fast. After today's podcast, I'm gonna fast.
Wow. Okay. So, you throw the fish fast.
I'm gonna throw it out as soon as I get a chance. It's going out in the garbage.
Okay.
But at the garbage. So good, man.
Okay. We don't necessarily mean that the chemical added there is bad, but it's not natural. That's what we can say. It's not natural to have a pinky fish.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
I
a pinky
mean it,
salmon.
and
I
I'm
don't know about
throwing it
I
out
don't know
today.
about the other fishes. Pardon?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean it. I'm throwing it out today, so it's a little too pink for me.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. We'll say this again, then we'll close off. Salmon is not supposed to be pink like that.
No. No. No.
Salmon
No.
is on a grayish type color. So,
It has gray. Yeah.
exactly. I used to fish a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I used to fish a ton. So, okay. So anything that you wanna close out? Closing remark?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for watching, and for joining. And yeah, this was just to bring awareness, and I hope you get the best part of it. You pick up what concerns you and what can help you. The rest, you just leave it there. So we're not trying to convert you into anything. So yeah, so just be
We're just
free,
bringing
and
awareness. We're just bringing awareness.
we're just bringing awareness. And the best thing with this podcast is we don't filter it. So
Right.
so
Right.
the way it is. So thank you so much, and I appreciate this time. And I think we have taken too much time today. Talk to